An arena that has hosted a Final Four, won by UCLA in 1965, an NBA championship, won by the Blazers in 1977, hosting the semifinals of the Phil Knight Invitational today. And Iowa State starts with the ball. Keith Kimball, Lee Cassell, and G.G. Nelson are officials. And away we go, the winner to Sunday's championship game. Caleb Grill puts up a three and hits it after Caleb Love went flying past him. Grill, who hit one shot from the field in 38 minutes yesterday, puts the Cyclones on the board. Here is the Carolina starting five for return for the championship team. The new addition, Nance, the Northwestern transfer. He feeds Love, who had a great day yesterday, and Caleb Love, after 23 points in the quarterfinals with an early two.
What a tough shot there by Caleb Love, and that's exactly what you're going to see from Iowa State's defense. The pressure on full display there. They also are terrific at meeting you outside the lane on dribble drives on the baseline. That time Love taking that help and just the floater going over the top.
Freshman Lipsey runs the show. Grill and Holmes the guards. Kuntz and Oshuniyi the bigs. Oshuniyi 17 in 21 minutes yesterday. He gets a touch here. Three to shoot against Baycott. And Oshuniyi left it well short.
Really good defense there by Armando Baycott of making Oshuniyi score over the top, not giving any ground.
They need Baycott to play better today.
It's a tough shot right there.
And Black got his own miss back. Now it's Baycott. Now it's an early foul against Oshuniyi.
I think at times Carolina gets away from doing just that, throwing the ball to the big fella Armando Baycott. Now some of that is on him to get deep post position, duck in. That's exactly what he did there, ducking in on Oshuniyi, drawing the foul.
They're already locked up before the inbounds pass even comes. There's a lot of pushing and shoving in the post, and Oshuniyi's picked up 2 fouls in 2 seconds of game time.
That's a huge development. He was fantastic. Some big buckets yesterday for Iowa State in their win over Villanova, 17-5. This play is totally designed to duck in Armando Baycott. You see him grabbing him around the waist. That's easy call on the baseline. They're going to run it again.
So Robert Jones replaces him. Jones gave them great minutes off the bench yesterday. He may have to give them a lot of minutes today. Love hounded by Grill. Pulls up and Grill blocked the shot. He was in his grill appropriately. Won Caleb on another.
What a start to the game for Caleb Grill. Knocking down a big three. A guy that struggled on the season. Made a huge one in the win. I love the short roll there. Damon Lipsey finding Robert Jones over the last 2 games. Averaging 10 a night.
R.J. Davis for Carolina. Got another foul, it looks like, going against Iowa State.
I thought Caleb Love's shot selection was terrific. The win over Portland, but Caleb Grill not giving up any ground, getting a piece of that basketball.
Foul was on Lipsey. 3 quick ones against Iowa State. They will foul because of how much they will pressure you. Grill trying to hold up on Nance. This is the same kind of intensity we saw yesterday from Iowa State, but Davis finds space for a three.
A double is coming on the post, and Pete Nance doing a nice job of getting it out. Carolina swinging the basketball. R.J. Davis locked and loaded from that right wing.
Cyclones only a 27% three-point shooting team. Lipsey into the paint, he scores. He didn't take a shot from the field in yesterday's game,
but still had a massive impact. Damon Lipsey, the freshman point guard out of Ames, taking his time, surveying the defense. No one ever stops him, and he gets all the way to the rim.
Well, it is a lot more physical of a start for Baycott today. He's just drawn a foul on Jones after drawing 2 against Oshuniyi. Look at the Davis 3 to set up North Carolina on the previous possession, which leads to Baycott and that high arcing free throw stroke. And Kauscher will check in. Marion Watson as well for Iowa State. Baycott just 3 for 8 from the line yesterday. Turned it over 4 times. And still picked up a double-double. He always seems to. Now 51 double-doubles, tied for second in Carolina history with Antoine Jameson. Jones really lost the inbounds, got it back to Kuntz. Kalsher, the leading scorer off the bench yesterday for Iowa State. He played 35 minutes. He may lead them in minutes this year, even though he comes off the bench. Jones against Baycott, went to the left hand, and the rebound down to Davis. Such high-octane speed for Davis, and it's so under control, too.
A nice move by Robert Jones, not able to get it to go, and that's Carolina just taking advantage, getting out in transition, beating that pressure down the floor.
A steal for Love, up ahead, bounce find to Davis, how'd he do it?
That is electric, the last two possessions for Carolina, getting out and running, and their guards making plays in the open court.
The first Carolina backcourt with multiple years of experience in its starters since the Lawson-Ellington backcourt of the 2009 title team. Kalsher.
That's going to be a fun matchup to watch right there. Leaky Black, Gabe Kalsher, those two getting after each other on this end of the floor. But the North Carolina Tar Heels getting out and taking advantage. R.J. Davis coming right at you, drilling the pull-up from 17 feet. Caleb Love dropping dimes. R.J. Davis running the floor. Carolina getting out on the break.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nike. Just do it. Phil Knight, along with Sabrina Ionescu, taking in the games yesterday. Phil joined Bill Walton and Roxy Bernstein for a wide-ranging conversation about Nike. We're here in celebration of Phil and everything he and the folks at Nike have done. Changed the sports business, changed the shoe game. And, of course, the driving force behind that, the former Tar Heel. Michael Jordan, there's UNC at the Nike headquarters earlier this week in celebration of Phil Knight's upcoming 85th birthday. Imagine having a basketball tournament for your birthday. Twice. Love left it short, and Carolina will keep it. I think the shot clock should be at 15 right now. I don't believe this possession has taken 15 seconds already. Well, when Caleb Love scores, North Carolina is good. 18-0 when Love gets to 20+, which he did yesterday. You mentioned his shot selection is much better from Caleb Love than it had been the first few games.
I think it's something that he'll fight. Deal with that with aggressive scoring guards, but he's certainly more than capable of making plays for other people as well.
Black in all kinds of trouble here on R.J. Davis. An early 7 points for Davis. 3 for 3 for the field. And this one tipped by Black to his teammate.
He has really rebounded the last couple games.
Baycott, an offensive foul. Charge drawn by Kuntz.
Iowa State excels in that regard. They do a great job of selling out on plays. You lower the shoulder. Jazz Kuntz knows exactly what to do with that. Just a heady heads-up play.
Really frustrated Kyle Neptune, and you could tell some of the Villanova players yesterday the way Iowa State would sell that contact. And drew multiple offensive fouls in the overtime win over Villanova. Jaren Holmes, a St. Bonaventure transfer. His floater missed. Rebound down to Nance. Nance yet to shoot it after a career-high tying 28 yesterday. Love turns it over. Hassan Ward in the game. Holmes elevates over Davis.
And that's where Iowa State is as good as anybody in the country at turning you over, averaging 23 forced turnovers a game. Get their hands on the basketball right there. Caleb Love a little casual on the ball screen. They are coming to trap you when you come off the ball screen.
White 22, foul on right here.
It's going to be a foul against Kalsher. It looked like he violated the cylinder, but another near takeaway after this.
He's just trying to split that trap, and a really nice job by Hassan Ward of not allowing it. You get Iowa State out in transition. You mentioned some of their struggles in the half court, but their defense can generate offense in a hurry.
Turned Villanova over 18 times yesterday. You don't hear that a lot against a Villanova team. Seth Trimble off the bench for Carolina. Trimble is fouled. So the contact early on has been whistled fairly tightly against Iowa State. Already 6 Cyclone fouls.
Carolina is going to be in the bonus for 14-22.
Here's Nance into Grill. Hassan Ward playing some 5 right now for Iowa State after the early foul trouble against Oshuni. It's a deep Iowa State team. They can go legitimately 9 deep. They're going to get Eli King, or they're going to get Trey King back soon, a transfer from Eastern Kentucky. Will be eligible in mid-December. Holmes into Love, left it short.
Carolina lucky. You've got to make Jaren Holmes use that ball screen. He turns it down, and in an open lane all the way to the basket, just short on the layup.
Hassan Ward called for the foul, and now North Carolina will shoot free throws. Baycott will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
It's not like Armando Baycott needs any help getting to the foul line. He's averaging 10 a game, which is a ridiculous number. And Iowa State going to be in the bonus for the rest of this half. Going inside to him is a good option.
We heard Hubert in our first game with Myron saying we need to get the ball to Baycott and we need to draw more fouls and have him pick up the other team's foul number. He's already drawn 3. He's playing defense with a foul right now, and Ward kicked it back out.
You guard Iowa State, you've got to be locked in. They're a very good cutting team. They run a pattern offense at times, and they can lull you to sleep.
Lipsy, here's a good cut. There's a better block. A black block on Ward. Iowa State got back well. Love gets the bump against Kalsher. 2 fouls on Kalsher, 8 fouls on Iowa State. It is ugly early defensively.
It's a great pass from Lipsy, and it looks like it's going to be an uncontested dunk for Hassan Ward, but gives so much credit to Leaky Black. Flying in there, getting all ball, and starting the break for Carolina.
Recruited by that man a long time ago, Roy Williams. We were just talking about Hubert's conversation with Myron. Myron, we'll give you a chance to add to that.
Well, he was just saying that yesterday he thought the team did things that they hadn't practiced, and he was just disappointed with that. He said Armando Baycott has to be smarter and catch the ball deeper into the post. He thought Portland did a good job of doubling, but it was more of Baycott kind of where he was positioning himself. You'd think Hubert would be happy after a win, but he was pretty frustrated by some of the weaknesses that his team showed.
Yeah, we've seen that frustration so far from Hubert this year, Myron. Robbie, what do you think about what Hubert had to say there about Baycott?
I totally agree, but that's not just an Armando Baycott thing. That's to any big man. You do your work early, you get great post position, you're just making your life easier. And at times it seems like he maybe settles for position outside that charge arc, whereas if you bury somebody, it's going to be a foul or it's going to be a layup.
Hubert barking out command after command to his defense. He's right there in the intensity with him. Ward inside, lost the ball. And Hubert and his team may not have a takeaway.
They're going to say Caleb Love, I think, stepped on that end line. Iowa State trying to go over the top. Hassan Ward sealing his man up the lane. Caleb Love coming weak side, but going to stay Iowa State ball.
Trying to shoot. Grill gets a good look. The screen came from Jones. Holmes, and the three came from Grill.
That looked a lot like Moses Wood yesterday. Coming off a pin down and Caleb Love deciding to go remove. Caleb Grill, 4 of 24 from 3 coming into tonight's game on the year, but so far through 7.5 minutes, he has been confident letting that thing go.
Up Johnson on the floor for the first time. Trimble.
Look at the hands. Hassan Ward's length. Really all of the Iowa State Cyclones' big's length. So impressive. You see Caleb Grill right here in the middle of this lane. Back screen, now the pin down by Robert Jones. Caleb Love goes removed, and Caleb Grill makes you pay.
2 to shoot. Trimble over the length of Ward, and Baycott there for the push-in.
That's the problem with having long shot blockers. Hassan Ward comes over to challenge that layup, which is the right play, but nobody home cracking down on the weak side, and Armando Baycott is there to clean it up.
Jones will post Baycott. Baycott smothers him and stares at him.
That was so good by Baycott, because the scouting report for Robert Jones that he's going to that right hand, catching away, and now Caleb Love on the other end, getting it going from the perimeter.
The block on one end, the screen on the other. Ward wasn't ready for the pass from Lipsy. Puck Johnson, high and in for an 8-point Carolina lead. Grill again. His third three.
If you're Caleb Love now, you've got to adjust the way that you are guarding Caleb Grill. The ball's coming to you. There's no reason why Grill should be able to get that shot off. This is a guy who did shoot 35% from 3 last season. Early struggles, but they've got to find him.
Baycott eventually on the catch, and a flush for Baycott, who is playing like his head coach demanded. 6 points, couple of rebounds, and a block shot for Baycott. Here's Holmes into Damian Dunn. DeMarco Dunn, beg your pardon, for Carolina. And another tough shot by Iowa State. Johnson sensing a step, and that is a goaltend against Ward. Swatting it off the glass. Great intensity for UNC.
The stars shining for North Carolina. Caleb Love getting it going from the perimeter. Armando Baycott, a little defense. Keep Robert Jones away from that right hand, then put it on the glass. And now the passing from Carolina on display here early.
We're at the Phil Knight Invitational Bracket, one of 2 8-team men's tournaments this weekend. Coming up, our second semifinal at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 local. UConn against Brandon Miller, the fabulous freshman, and number 18, Alabama.
Oh, Brandon Miller, the skill set on display. 24 points, 9 rebounds against Michigan State. That's around what he's averaging for the year at 21 and 9. He is a terrific player. 47% from the field, 52% from 3. They play him at the 4. That skilled 4 position. Brandon Miller showing out just how talented he is.
If you're an NBA fan, that young man,
he will be there soon.
He's going to be a lottery pick, probably. And Alabama reloading under Nate Oates this year. Winner of that game gets the winner of this one, with North Carolina off to a very good start against Iowa State. You think the defensive intensity a little better for the Heels?
Yes, I think they've been much more together and much more clued in. And the first Caleb Grill 3, okay. The other 2, that's got to be cleaned up. That's some scouting report deals, but for the most part, yes, compared to yesterday, Carolina really struggled to guard Portland. It's been much better.
O'Shooney back in the game. He immediately boots it. A turnover, the 4th for Iowa State. Nance travels. So O'Shooney, after picking up 2 fouls in the first 90 seconds, back on the floor for Iowa State.
There's no doubt that this Carolina starting 5 can hurt you in so many different ways. The big question mark is going to be their bench production. Right now you see Puff Johnson, Seth Trimble out there. It's probably about as deep as Carolina will go. But with 5 games in 11 days, you have to think Hubert Davis might try to get some other guys in there.
Here's Kalsher. Feet were not quite set. Grill. That's ridiculous.
My goodness.
That is ridiculous. He's 4 for 4 after starting the season 4 for 24.
For a shooter, all it takes is to see one go down, and he made a massive one yesterday. Start overtime. Today, he's been on fire.
Nance feeds the post and done, and that's a block for a goaltend by a shooting.
Was not going to go in.
Mickey Black will return and replace Dunn. Good job getting the basket. Take the seat.
No surprise to see who he's coming to guard. Caleb Grill has been the best player for the Iowa State Cyclones, and now he draws the defender for the matchup, I should say, Carolina's best defensive player.
Grill was not involved in that play. There's a foul against UNC.
Carolina bringing some pressure themselves defensively, and if that's the case, a heck of a pressure release can be the back screen. That's exactly what you saw there. Carolina fouling, but it's been a much more assertive effort defensively for UNC.
Grill off the inbound.
That's a heat check.
To be fair, there were a couple of heat checks before it.
Hey, when you
first miss.
You made 3 in a row, 4 in a row. I'm with you.
Nance finds Johnson. Davis. And Oshuni with the rebound. Iowa State, which returned just 24% of its scoring from a year ago. A key transfer here at Oshuni. Holmes. And there's the old St. Bonaventure connection.
Yesterday it was Iowa State getting it done in the paint and off their turnovers, and today it's been a different story. 5 of 6 from downtown.
Johnson a deep one, maybe too deep. Holmes got rid of it to Kuntz, and a shooting with a back tap saved by Kuntz. We're going to get immediate timeout here. With a 5-point North Carolina lead in our first of 2 semifinals of the winner's bracket of Phil Knight Invitational. The Iowa State folks tell us Jaren Holmes has been a leader from day one here. There he is. Hard to miss in the middle of that huddle. His first year at Iowa State after coming over from St. Bonaventure, but it's Caleb Grill who's brought the leadership on the floor.
Well, I love Jaren Holmes firing up that Cyclone defense, but Caleb Grill on this end of the floor has been so impressive with the way he shot the basketball. Letting it go with confidence, made a big one yesterday, 4 of 5 from downtown. Those Caleb Grill threes really giving a shot of life to this Cyclone offense.
Let's bring in Myron for more.
Yeah, Jaren Holmes, when he transferred in, he said he wanted to build chemistry with the team. So they started playing a pool tournament every day at 5:30 after dinner. Jaren Holmes says he's the best, but it really brought the guys together. They also like to listen to what they call old school music. I said, what's that? They said anything 2000s pop. So just to give you a sense of kind of how they're wired at Iowa State.
Old school music is 2000s pop, Myron?
That's old school for them.
That hurts,
2000s pop.
Hurts my soul to hear.
Is that like Usher? Is that like Clarkson?
They said T-Pain a little bit, you know, anything in that area.
Gosh,
God rolled.
Britney Spears?
Definitely.
As a former colleague of ours once said, what's Britney up to these days? Out of bounds, it'll stay with Iowa State. Jaren Holmes at St. Bonaventure had a terrific career. Bonnie's had a great run. They made the tournament 2 years ago, the NIT Final Four last year, and then that class, including Kyle Lofton, among others, really transferred en masse, taking a chance to go to a power school, get some different opportunities. NIL has obviously changed the game, a chance for a different challenge. Holmes had a connection with Nate Schmidt, assistant coach here at Iowa State. He committed first, and then Oshuni came, And TJ Otzelberger told us it was really Holmes who was the lead recruiter to get his old teammate to Ames. Oshuni defending the post right now. Nance had his path cut off. Pete Nance yet to only put up one shot in this game, beg your pardon.
They really keep you on one side. Look at the job they've done. I mean, Carolina, that offense going nowhere, but you got to finish the possession. And the offensive glass, such a factor.
Black kept it alive and Love banked it in. That whole possession saved by a leaky Black tap.
What a strong drive from Caleb Love.
Holmes rolling into Baycott, and Oshuni couldn't handle another one.
I think Baycott got a hand on that basketball and knocked it away. Now this possession's going nowhere. R.J. Davis just flings it up, and you're right, Leaky Black just tapping it out. That's why he's one of the best glue guys in all of college basketball. Caleb Grill getting knocked back. Caleb Love says just a little bit too small.
He's 1 inch taller than Caleb Grill. Technically, that celebration is correct.
It's a play-by-play basis of whether you're too small or not.
Davis lost the ball, split the defenders, trying to call a timeout. I don't know if he has possession, but they're going to get a timeout anyway. We are back at 30 seconds to Portland, Oregon. The other men's bracket, the Phil Knight Legacy. Duke is on to the championship Sunday on ABC. Going to be a juicy matchup either way. Duke Purdue or Duke Gonzaga, and Jeremy Roach led the Blue Devils in today's win.
Well, a real bounce back game for Jeremy Roach. 3 of 14 from the field against Oregon State yesterday, just 7 points. But it was a different story here this afternoon. Showed off the ability to score at all 3 levels, and if they're going to go to where they want to get to, Jeremy Roach is going to have to be a huge part of that offensively.
#1 recruiting class in the country for John Shire, but some of their more experienced players have led Duke early in the year. Davis, another end of the shot clock try, and Nance knocked it out of bounds. Jones back on the floor for Iowa State. Oh, Holmes nearly traveled. Holmes was fouled by Caleb Love. Only the 4th against North Carolina.
Jaren Holmes taking some of that pressure that Caleb Love is applying and trying to flip it on him. He really used Robert Jones as a screen right there, even though Jones had the basketball.
Here's Jones over Baycott. Baycott holds up again.
The second time we've seen Baycott make Jones get to that right shoulder, and he hasn't been able to have the success we saw yesterday.
Oh, a blow by from R.J. Davis.
It is apparent that these Carolina guards are trying to split these traps. Right there, R.J. Davis getting low to the ground and firing that thing through.
How do you adjust to that if you're Iowa State?
You have to be connected in your traps. If you're not connected, these guards are good enough to where they can really punish you. And Jaren Holmes, never a guy that gets sped up. He is always on his own pace, can get to his pull-up. Had a really nice start to the season.
Davis again got rid of that trap because Love was wide open. Hicks has the rebound. Holmes. Back-to-back buckets for Jaren Holmes.
Gets to where he wants to go. That time, nobody home for Carolina. Jaren Holmes coming off that screen. Hesitation, freezes the defense, and he's all the way to the rim.
9 points for Holmes. Love almost split the trap, but he lost the handle. Grill gets the feed from Lipsy and finishes. This time from 2-point range. 14 for Caleb Grill.
It's a little bit feast or famine right now for Carolina in terms of splitting these ball screens. They're able to force a turnover. It's a pick six. Caleb Grill going the other way, and now a little 1-3-1 action.
It's a 6-0 run as Love misses another three. Holmes for the tie. You bet! Jaren Holmes with an early dozen.
Just a fantastic screen, though, by Robert Jones. He picks off that defender, and Holmes knows what to do with it.
A missed three by Nance. Grill and Holmes have combined for 26 of the 30 for Iowa State.
This is Iowa State. They got to go right back to the well. It's Jaren Holmes' time. He's been able to get downhill and get to the bucket almost at will.
Lipsy feeds the post. Jones scooping it awkwardly. Lipsy charges in and he throws the ball out of bounds. 9-0 Iowa State run has tied this game.
There are 4 for their last 5 field goals, but it was in transition initially. There's the Caleb Love trying to split the ball screen. Caleb Grill getting out and running the floor. How about Jaren Holmes showing off his ability to score, letting you know about it. Iowa State right back at you.
It's nothing.
Sounds like something.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, unsystemic diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol coats and soothes for fast relief when you need it most.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
I'm Samantha.
And I'm Dan.
And we renovate RVs. Before we had Chime, we were pretty much paycheck to paycheck.
My favorite feature of Chime is their spot fee. It just gives me peace of mind when I'm buying stuff.
We use Chime's secured credit builder card, and we've upped our credit score 40 points.
By making everyday purchases with on-time payments. I Chime because building our future and planning ahead financially has never been easier.
Seth, Steve, Zubin. Coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report, we'll check in with Duke and a huge slate of action tonight here on ESPN. We'll take a look at what lies ahead. What are you seeing here?
Iowa State's ball pressure. Number one, it forces guards to make plays, and certainly Carolina's guards are terrific, but it takes away the point of emphasis of getting the ball to Armando Bacot.
Yeah, Carolina's got to do a better job defending that middle ball screen. The last 2 possessions, just a quick step-up ball screen. They got drop coverage. They're absolutely getting beat straight downhill. They got to do a better job of communicating.
Guys, we'll see you on the Jeep Halftime Report.
Gentlemen, we got a ball game on our hands here. Caleb Grill and Jaren Holmes have scored all but 4 of Iowa State's points. Grill doing it from deep and Holmes doing it from everywhere.
Caleb Grill got the party started. Couple early possessions. Carolina clamping down on defense, and Caleb Grill loosening that defense up from downtown. And you're right, Jaren Holmes just showing off all the different ways that he can score the basketball.
Question for Iowa State now will be, where do they go with Holmes on the bench?
You know who's been incredibly quiet is Gabe Kalscheur.
Yep.
He took a ton of shots yesterday. 19 field goal attempts, 15 threes, and they just, but to his credit, he has not forced anything, and they've kept finding the hot hand.
Love and Davis each with 9 for Carolina, and Love with an assist. Bacot with 8.
Iowa State coming out, bringing some pressure, and Carolina handling it beautifully. About the pass there from Caleb Love, dropping it off for Armando Bacot.
Much better first half for Bacot today.
There's that little pin down action. They love to run for Kalscheur, and DeMarco Dunn snipping it out.
Lipsy had Jones for second there.
Yes, they did.
Grill way out. Tip back, Ward got a piece of it. Kalscheur spinning and missing. Ward got another one.
He is so productive. With his length and bounce, he can just be a terror on the offensive glass. This is a game where on both ends you've got to check out. How about DeMarco Dunn? I guess they're going to say they got Kalsher on that shooting hand. The way he got over the screen, the way he's defended Kalsher coming off the pin downs. Just gave Kalsher coming off the ball screen, and yeah, they gets him on the follow through. That's a good call. If you're DeMarco Dunn, you've done your job. Just get a good contest and you'll live with what happens.
For Iowa State, if Carolina continues to defend these pin down screens well, what do you change to get open looks for your shooters?
Well, I think for Gabe Kalsher, you do exactly what you've been doing, where he can't force the issue. If you're open, you got to shoot it. So right now, I think Carolina's done a phenomenal job. When Kalsher's come off the screen, the defender has been right there. They do a good job. Kalsher, they'll flare him, they'll pin him down, they'll screen for him in a number of ways. I just think you got to stay with it.
Here comes a quick trap. Love passes out of it. Dunn. Ward on Davis right now. 6'9" with a huge wingspan. Love got a step on Lipsy. Ward came over to help. Ends up back with Love somehow.
The way that Iowa State closes down space with their length is so impressive.
And then Bacot over the top of Kalsher in a first half in double figures for Bacot.
It's always a good offense for Carolina. Throw the ball into the big fella. Let him get a touch.
Kalsher. They're going to have a foul against Dunn. Second quick one for him.
You have got to pass and catch against this Iowa State defense. It sounds simple, but when that ball swings, there's the duck in for Bacot. The help's coming over. He just shoots right over the top of that double with his right jump hook.
Jaren Holmes returns, replacing Kalsher. Holmes in and out.
A good look. Really good screen. Set for Jaren Holmes coming off.
Davis pushing pace, too strong. And Holmes will collect with under a minute to play. In a terrific first half. Iowa State will take the use it or lose it timeout. TJ says, come on down. What do you think? Have they reffed fair?
I think the refs.
Think she's getting her wish?
Yes, so far so good there. It's going to be a tough game to officiate with the way that Iowa State wants to be physical, wants to get on top of cutters and ball handlers and keep you to his side. But so far, I think it's been a well officiated game and very good officiating crew here we've got today.
It's been a well officiated tournament, well played tournament, well officiated tournament, and the best yet to come with our championship games on Sunday. 2 women's championships, 2 men's championships in our Phil Knight Invitational and Phil Knight Legacy brackets. Winner this game will be in the Phil Knight Invitational Championship on the men's side against either Connecticut or Alabama. Iowa State with 40 seconds remaining in the half out of the timeout. A lot of quick ball movement on the perimeter again. It's going to be Lipsy, the freshman, bouncing for Ward. Grills had the hot hand in the first half. Cooch with 2 to shoot. Short. Rebounded by Ward. He's had so much energy on the offensive glass.
Got to check him out. Now Iowa State going to pull this thing out and save this for the last shot of the half.
Holmes. It's Grill. Had space. Has a lot more. He was so open he missed it. And Bacot will hold the ball and hold the lead for North Carolina after 20 frenetic minutes. Bacon has 10. London Davis have 9. Iowa State, meanwhile, propelled forward by 2 guards. Caleb Grill with 14. Jaren Holmes with 12. The rest of the Cyclones have 6. There's not been a bottomless well of offense for Iowa State, but those 2 with some good defense have kept ISU in the game. North Carolina ball to begin the second half. Caleb Love on the blow by, and what'll it be here? A block. It'll be a block on Jaren Holmes. Holmes picks up his second foul. Caleb Love will shoot a couple of free throws. Let's go to Myron, who caught up with Hubert Davis at the half.
Yeah, he said, he thought his team played pretty well. They were prepared for Iowa State to make some runs with the way they pushed the ball and turned the ball over, #1 in the country. He also noted that they're being allowed to play physically, maybe a bit more physically than North Carolina has been able to. And he said there's no real way to prepare for what Caleb Grill did, but overall, he wasn't as disappointed as I thought he would be.
What's your reaction to that?
I think with Caleb Grill, once he's made a couple, you've got to find him. You cannot just let him continue to shoot open shots. And by the end of the half, that's certainly Carolina more aware. He makes one fine, but starts knocking down a couple. That scouting report has got to change.
Grill was 4 for 7 from 3 in that first half. Here's Holmes with Leaky Black all over him. One of America's best defensive players. Ashuni, 2 fouls, barely played in that first half. Off to Holmes. Shot clock winding down, and Iowa State's going to get bailed out by a kick. I almost said St. Bonaventure was going to get bailed out by a kick. Holmes and Ashuni, the ex-Bonnie teammates. We do need to give St. Bonaventure a little bit of love here, because they did win today over Notre Dame by 12 in the Gotham Classic on Long Island.
Who led them in scoring? Won't be in Ames next year.
They've become weirdly the feeder program for Iowa State. I hate to say it like that, but this is the third. These 2 are the second and third former St. Bonaventure players, along with Isaiah Brockington, to make a big impact under TJ Otzelberger and Ames. But Mark Schmidt is a great coach who has reloaded that team again to be an A-10 contender. Lipsy left the floater short, tipped it to Oshudi. Here's Kuntz, who still has not scored.
It's a good look, too. The effort by Lipsy to keep that ball alive. And the kick out, you get a high-quality look for Jazz Kuntz, top of the key.
Davis misses, just 4 for 10 from the field for him. And 1 for 5 from 3. Carolina shooting just 2 for 11 from 3.
Think about Iowa State. Somebody's got to come alongside Jaren Holmes and Caleb Grill. They've got 26 of their 32 points. They are carrying the load.
Kuntz on the floor. This ball is tied up. It belongs to Iowa State on the arrow. He gets it to Grill. He was the man in the first half, and he backs it in despite the smothering defensive Love.
It's just his day right here. Caleb Grill knocking down threes, and that time hanging over the top of Caleb Love. That thing had side spin on it. Hit the backboard and dropped for him.
At 5 points in 38 minutes yesterday. He's got 16 here. Nance, who has yet to score, pushes it back to Love. The freshman Lipsy all over him. Knocks it away off the foot of Love, and a takeaway for Iowa State.
Taman Lipsy just not allowing Caleb Love to turn down that ball screen, making him use it. How about this shot, though? Caleb Grill, plenty of time on the shot clock, but he fires that thing up. It's got side spin on it, still manages to get it to go. And quick hands, Taman Lipsy. Not a big score, but he impacts the game in a number of ways outside of that.
What would Matt Painter have said if you put up the shot that Caleb Grill did?
Well, if it went in, he'd say, good shot. If it didn't go in, he'd say, take a seat.
Okay, fair point. Holmes off 1 foot. Every rebound is contested in this game. Black has it for Carolina, and Love wraps around and scores.
Beautiful back cut there in transition, Caleb Love. And how about the finish to use the other side of that rim, because you know that with Iowa State, people are coming to block that shot.
Lipsy got free on the cut, and he's fouled by Davis.
I've seen that back screen be really effective for the Cyclones. North Carolina trying to push that pressure, and speaking of pressure, you know Iowa State's bringing it. And a pressure release at all times is going to be the back cut. Caleb Love, a little reverse action, understanding Oshuni is around, and that's a scary proposition as a finisher.
Brill falling out of bounds, got it to the just inserted Jones. Backing down Baycott. Again, he has to go to the left. The long leak out to Black. And Leakey will take it himself. Get to the line for two.
Leaky Black just taking his time, using his size. Euro step totally under control in that transition possession.
Third foul against Jaren Holmes. He's looking over at his bench to see if he'll be replaced or not. And Holmes will exit for Kauscher.
I think as well as you're playing right now, you're down 4. Certainly you're telling him, if you're TJ Otzelberger, stay ready, because this might be a quick break, but you're trying to steal minutes with him on the bench. And now if you're the Cyclones, you got to get Gabe Kauscher going. You're going to find some shots for him in the flow of the offense. I guarantee you he is going to be flying off pin downs.
First points for Black today. Carolina sets up full court. Black on the ball and Grill. Nance whistled for a foul. Hubert Davis, Myron reported that Hubert said he felt like Iowa State was allowed to play a little more physically than North Carolina. And with that in his mind, Hubert is mystified at that foul call. Only the first on Nance. Lipsy's got Baycott on him.
Oh, good seal.
And that meant Jones had Davis on him.
Damon Lipsy stringing that pick and roll out. He gets Baycott to commit, which means R.J. Davis is now guarding Robert Jones. And much like we saw yesterday, Iowa State thriving with mismatch basketball.
Nance.
Oh, wow.
He just bowled over Kuntz for an offensive foul. And again, Kuntz sells the contact well for the Cyclones.
They're just so good at doing this, and the way they close out is unlike any team you'll play almost. Look how on top Jazz Kuntz is here. I mean, he is anticipating you're taking away the middle. He's moving his feet, and much like we saw from Villanova, Pete Nance incredibly frustrated with that charge call there.
There's an official conference right now. They're going to pull the teams back from their benches. Hubert still searching for an explanation from G.G. Nelson. Officials, we're told, wanted to correct who the foul was on. Obviously, Nance. And it's 2 on Pete Nance.
He's only taken 2 shots today. Coming off tying his career high, 28 against Portland. Also had 7 rebounds, and the looks have not been there today.
Jones.
He is sitting on that right hand. It's great defense by Armando Baycott.
Jones got it
but
back.
Stuck with it.
He flexes on him too.
Baycott is just sitting on that left shoulder, and Jones is up to the other side of the basket.
Jones has taken 9 shots. Only hit 3 of them, but Iowa State's back within 1.
Everybody in the building knows Robert Jones wants to get to his right hand.
On the switch, it's Jones against Love. Blow by, and what
close
was that? Jones, right-handed to give Iowa State the lead.
Damon Lipsy, another terrific pass from the baseline, hitting Robert Jones, and Carolina wants to talk this one over.
TJ Otzelberger is loving it. The Iowa State faithful all the way from Ames here to Portland, enjoying this 1-point lead.
A 6-0 run for the Iowa State Cyclones. Robert Jones just sticking with it. The physicality getting to Armando Bacot's body. And you want to stay on top, Tamin Lipsy. You're trying to keep him on the sideline, dropping off a dime, and Robert Jones finishing the deal.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays. Coming up next on ESPN, the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlanta's championship game. Kansas and Tennessee off of dramatic overtime wins. For a game preview, here's Jimmy Dykes.
Coach, we're hanging out on a typical 110-foot yacht here in Atlanta's. Play for a championship tonight. What concerns you about Tennessee?
Well, everything. Size, them ducking in their big guys early in offense. They're really good at that. And then, they got some guys on the perimeter that can just go make plays. And they can bring in speed on speed. Yep. And then they got heady, and probably about as good a guards as we'll face all year. So it'll be a tough challenge.
Coach, hate to tell you this.
Oh, I didn't know that was in the
We're in a
background.
Tennessee yacht.
It's a friendly tournament.
What you didn't see was the second half of that video where Bill Self was pelted with kiwis from the restless Tennessee locals.
Rough life down in the Bahamas.
Wow. Poor Jimmy. We'll hope he gets off the yacht and gets to the arena. Otherwise, it might be a Boog Shambi solo show. That may be Boog's yacht for all we know. 40-39, Iowa State has the lead over #1 North Carolina. A turnover for Davis. This is the first lead since it was 7-5 for Iowa State. And this is our break. That was a wonderful segment. Thanks for Jimmy and the yacht. Wow, the shoe dog himself is in the building. Co-founder of Nike, Phil Knight. The PK on the floor and on the uniform tops is for him. Phil Knight tournaments celebrating Phil's 85th birthday next year. There we are right near Phil. Hello, America. We decided to wear different colors of blue today just for fun.
Yeah, you went Carolina blue.
Can I just
I went a little navy.
Can I address that? I have 2 black polos and 2 blue polos. And we wore the black yesterday, but for some reason somebody here didn't have a polo.
But here's the problem.
So I gave you my black one, and that left me with nothing but Carolina blue.
I did the game in Oregon, and the polos never arrived at my house. And I appreciate you offering up your small.
Yeah.
But it was a little tight yesterday, so we went with mismatching polos.
Maybe you should have just told them, bring the polos to Oregon.
That would have been the smart play, but
it's not going to be gone for a week.
That's true.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
The same.
You too.
Whatever colors you're all wearing at home, we hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We hope you're enjoying this terrific basketball game. Iowa State leads it by 1 over the nation's #1 team. Here's Grill. That's a 3. His 5th of the game. 1 more than he made in the entire season before this.
Leaky Black going under, and that might be the scouting report to start the game, but things have changed. He's made 5, and clearly he's in a zone. Now the pressure in Iowa State is running.
Lipsy took it away from Trimble. Nance slapped it off the backboard, and it was kicked. And it will be North Carolina ball.
Caleb Grill into shot clock. He's just going to come off this dribble handoff, and I don't know why Leaky Black is encountering this screen. I mean, it's just a little hesitation, but there's got to be a sense of urgency. We heard Hubert Davis talk about that after the win against Portland, and this dude's made 5 threes. There has to be urgency there.
Caleb Grill was originally going to play for TJ Otzelberger at South Dakota State, then went to Iowa State, began his career at Iowa State, and then transferred to UNLV when TJ Otzelberger got the head coaching job at UNLV. So TJ comes back to Iowa State where he had been an assistant. Caleb Grill also comes back to Iowa State. making him that unusual transfer to start at a school, leave the school, and then return to that school.
We're starting to see that more, though. And Emmett Matthews is a guy that comes to mind at West Virginia, who's out here at PK basketball tournaments. Was at West Virginia, went to Washington, then now he's back at West Virginia. I guess it shows you leave on good terms. You never know.
Grill trying to body Nance right now. Nance pushes off, and at the 14-minute mark of the second half, Pete Nance has points.
Just his third shot of the afternoon, and his size, he can get that type of shot really whenever he wants it.
Can you believe Bacot and Nance have only 7 field goal attempts?
Bacot needs more, and Nance too.
Bacot will hit the deck, and it is an offensive foul called against Jones.
A little taste of your own medicine here for the Cyclones. Mondo Bacot, there's the first contact, and that's the way you play it if you're Bacot. The first one, you're physical with it, and they get you the second time. That's really well done. Armando Bacot has been so efficient offensively, but he's been incredibly impressive on the defensive end.
He's only committed 1 foul despite all of the physical play of the Iowa State bigs. Can they get him a touch here?
Iowa State going zone. It's going to be tough, but he ducks right in at the bottom of that 1-3-1, and here's your touch.
And there's a foul against Jones, who's picked up 2 and 3 in succession. And the foul numbers starting to rise for Iowa State.
Iowa State going zone, and there's Bacot ducking in. I'd still like to see him be even more aggressive to duck in and try to get early post-up position.
Now Iowa State will try to match the size with Oshuni.
He's only taken 1 shot today after being tremendous yesterday.
And now what do we have? It's a foul offensive against Bacot. It is a war in the trenches.
A war of charges. Who would have thought? Well, here's Bacot. I guess you lower the shoulder. Iowa State is so coached to just take this down. I mean, honestly, I would love that to just be play on. I don't want to watch just charge after charge, but this is what the Cyclones do.
Grill had space for a second. Thought he was a little deep. Kalsher stepping in.
Really off balance. Tried to step around the help side defender and did not look comfortable on that drive.
The freshman Trimble
burst.
And there was a foul as Seth Trimble drove it in on Oshuni.
He's got a big-time reputation as an athlete. Seth Trimble getting out in the open floor. That's where he's at his best. He is incredibly fast and quick. In transition, he can be so dangerous.
The fouls are really starting to become the story for Iowa State. Oshuni has joined Holmes and Kalsher in the 3-foul club. Holmes is going to return for Lipsy. And Pete Nance checks out for Puff Johnson. Seth Trimble, freshman from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Brother J.P. Sokoto, former Tar Heel. And he ties the game at the line. Good defense by Trimble here.
Hawk that ball. Caleb Grill and Gabe Kalsher cleared out. It was on Jaren Holmes to bring it up against the pressure.
And Trimble just drew a foul. He drew Holmes fourth. The charge of the Charge Brigade continues.
Charge. Well, he is just heating up the ball. And Seth Trimble, I talked about his reputation offensively. This is what he does on the defensive end of the floor. He's getting in to Jaren Holmes, and there's the off arm. But this has become a charge fest.
So 12:38 mark. Holmes picks up his fourth. Goes right back to the bench. Davis.
Good defense by Lipsy right there. How long is Hassan Ward? I mean, he is just...
Ward now has 10 steals in 5 games. Iowa State has forced 10 North Carolina turnovers.
His per 40 numbers are really off the charts. And I know it's still early, but 15 points a game, 16 rebounds a game, and 6.5 steals. Just when he's on the floor, he's productive. And look out, they had him.
His arms were long, but not quite long enough.
That pass is even in the vicinity. He's tearing the rim off.
12 minutes to go. All tied up. Number 1 North Carolina and Iowa State. Ward with a rebound off the leaky black jumper. Lipsy uses a screen. He thought Oshuni would be there. Johnson running the floor over Grill. And Grill thought he went straight up, but Johnson will shoot 2. One foul after another. North Carolina at the line looking for the lead when we return to Portland. TJ Otzelberger and Iowa State in the huddle in a tie game. For more on what's going on with the Cyclones, here's Myron.
You know, they're trying to stay composed. You heard guys saying, listen, they're going to fight. We got to keep punching back. They don't seem rallied at all. They seem like they were prepared for this, and you can see the energy inside the huddle. I mean, if body language is any indicator, certainly Iowa State feels like they're in this game and they had a great chance to win.
Myron, we see you lingering. Get in the huddle there. Get in the middle. Motivate them, Myron.
I don't know if I got the words to do that, but TJ's handling it by himself.
I would expect nothing less from TJ. He is a phenomenal coach. I think Iowa State got a little bit of a raw deal on that last foul call. Caleb Grill could not have been any more vertical. He's been a big story in this game. On the flip side for Carolina, you see both Caleb Love and Armando Bacot getting it done. Iowa State has put themselves in a great position, even with the foul trouble. A lot to be decided with 11:35 to go, but so far this has been a fun game to watch. Gotten a little foul happy here over the last 3 or 4 minutes, but big time college basketball game. Here's the play we're talking about, and I have no idea what he could have done better there. That's as vertical can be.
Ball don't lie.
Doesn't. Where's Rasheed Wallace when you need him? Just to let that be known in this stadium.
Rasheed's probably watching. Carolina game. 43-43 after the misses by Johnson. He was able to recover.
Really lucky. They're trying to run that cross screen action for Oshuni. They like to run, but pass just not close.
Grill again, in and out.
What a rebound by Lipsy.
Just love watching that kid play.
Complete player. Got to work at the scoring aspect. Oh, they had him, and Bacot read it so well.
Love. Control back to Davis. Into Bacot. Boom, slaps at it.
Gotta move the ball.
Bacot looks winded after all that. Moving around.
He made 9 moves, so I'm not surprised.
He's trying to repost here. Trimble. Lipsy's on the floor. Bacot. Wow.
It's just not where he needs to be. I know you want to stretch your game out, but I think he's got to be on the block, especially right now with 10 to play.
And the whole possession was just one giant offensive volley. Grill. Space for Grill. 21 for Caleb Grill, and Iowa State's back on top.
There, he's got pick and roll action. Armando Bacot with drop coverage, and when that's the case, the pull-up is going to be there at the elbow. Caleb Grill getting to his spot, rising up.
Here's Johnson. Bacot, an offensive rebound. Picked it right back out. Love step back. No. Tipped. Davis has it. Third chance for Carolina. Davis ties it.
It's tough from R.J. Davis. He's got the mismatch with Jazz Kuntz, and he wasn't messing around. Knew exactly what he wanted. Got to that step back and drilled it from the top.
Hubert Davis told us he was their steadiest player. They go to him in a moment where they needed a little steady. Lipsy again for Oshuni, and finally Oshuni will go to the line.
What a catch by Oshuni, though. That was not easy. Lipsy threw those low skip bounce passes, and normally for big guys that's not a good thing, but Oshuni showing off those hands, finding a way to the foul line.
Has not scored in 12 minutes. Oshuni. Phil Knight Legacy, our women's bracket, currently on ESPN2. Number 3 UConn leading Duke 52-32. That's over the Chiles Center. Lou Lopez Sinichal with 18. Nazi Fudd, the All-American candidate, with 9 for Connecticut. Winner of that game gets the winner of Iowa-Oregon State. Sunday's championship on ABC. Free throws for Oshuni. Jones will replace him. Baycott will get a much-needed breather. Nance back for North Carolina. What would you like to see on this possession for UNC?
I'd love to see Pete Nance get involved. Now, Iowa State's going to go with this 1-3-1, and that means there's going to be opportunities on the three-point line. Whether it's in the corner or at the wing right here.
Love has an opportunity from deep. Stays with Carolina.
TJ Otzelberger has pressed the right buttons today. And when they've switched up defenses, he's had to manage the foul trouble issues, and he's been right here step for step with a very good Carolina basketball team.
Davis back on Coons. Around and out.
Carbon copy of the last R.J. Davis jumper. Once again with Coons. That's a breakdown in transition, but Gabe Coucher has been ice cold today.
As cold as the ice under this floor. Johnson goes to the line. The offensive rebound off the Love miss.
It's back-to-back offensive rebounds for Puff Johnson. It's amazing hearing Hubert Davis talk about him. Puff, a guy who's been injured a lot in his career. So it doesn't matter if he's out a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. When he comes back, he's in shape. That's an incredible skill set to have, because most guys have to play your way back in. Made a big 3 in his first game back against James Madison, and now impacting this game on the offensive glass.
Here's the foul situation for Iowa State. That last one was on Jones, his 4th. Holmes has 4. Jones is out of the game. Ward is in the game. Coucher and Oshuni both with 3. Iowa State's committed 18 fouls to North Carolina's 13. And Johnson has tied it. You may not enjoy every moment of these games if you're a North Carolina fan, but I'll tell you what, they provided some entertaining basketball this year.
They make things interesting, that's for sure.
A little too close for comfort. Some of the first 5 games, they have won them all. Their first game against a power conference team today. Coucher.
That's a dangerous pass.
Oh, big hard collision. Lipsy with a blocking foul on Davis, and R.J. Davis will shoot 2.
Gabe Coucher has really struggled. He's throwing this skip pass. R.J. Davis, the interception. You got to let him land, though. This one going the other way for Carolina.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays. Here at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, day 2 of the Phil Knight tournaments. This is such an interesting setup with the Moda Center right next door. This is the old home of the Blazers. It's currently the home of a junior hockey team, the Portland Winterhawks. But unlike in most cities that have an NBA team, the old arena still exists. It's not knocked down even with Moda Center next door, because this building was added to the National Historic Register, known as the Glass Palace. An interesting architectural style. The walls made of glass panels, 4 large concrete columns that hold the weight, and there is great history in this building. Bill Walton, who will be coming up on the air in a couple hours here. Led the Blazers to the championship here, 1977. Bill Walton's UCLA Bruins, pre-Bill, won the national championship here in 1965. Beatles played here. Led Zeppelin, Elvis Presley. It's a neat venue with a whole lot of history. And part of the reason we can have this event in Portland is we have these two wonderful buildings next door to each other. Today it'll see a finalist here in this Phil Knight Invitational, either North Carolina or Iowa State, in what's been a great back and forth game.
This building's so relevant in the 90s NBA as well. NBA Finals were played here in 90 and 92. Right, building has a ton of history.
We had a disco night camera during one of the last breaks because when the Blazers won the title here, disco was still in vogue. Little Bee Gees. Jaren Holmes back in the game with 4 fouls. Fouled on the way up, and he'll try to tie this at the line after the free throws from Davis. Remember, this is the second of our quintuple header on ESPN today. Duke has defeated Xavier to move on to the Phil Knight Legacy Final. Tennessee and Kansas next in the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlanta's championship game down in the Bahamas. Then the other semifinals, UConn and Alabama here, and Purdue and Gonzaga next door at Moda Center. It is a gargantuan lineup of major college basketball. 7 ranked teams, 8 ranked teams, beg your pardon. And a whole lot of Power Conference thunder. Big free throw misses by Holmes keeps this a 2-point game. Carolina's got the starting 5 back on the floor. Davis leads with 13. Love. Kuntz on the deck. So is the ball. It is pushed out somehow to Nance. Back to Davis. Back to Nance. And Bacot soars for the rebound. He'll go to the line.
What a luxury for Carolina after all that. Iowa State in total scramble mode. Pete Nance gets a good look from the corner. But when your best offense, when you're struggling, can just be an Armando Bacot offensive rebound. That's a luxury not many teams have. He pursues this basketball and earns a trip to the foul line.
11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. 2 more rebounds, and Bacot would be in sole possession of second in Carolina history for double-doubles. Right now he's tied at 51 with Antoine Jameson. The great Billy Cunningham with 61. And Bacot with a fortunate miss because Black cleaned it up.
Leaky Black, he's just a winner. I mean, that's a winning play. Look what it leads to.
It's a 4-point possession as Nance connects. Iowa State will use a timeout. Pete Nance with his first 3-pointer of the game. And a quick 8-0 run for UNC.
The last 2 games, Leaky Black averaging over 10 rebounds a game, and he just goes upstairs. Now the skip pass from Armando Bacot. Iowa State to the basketball, but Pete Nance shooting 47% from 3 on the year, making you pay with a second chance opportunity.
Hubert Davis instructing. He has wanted some fire and enthusiasm and hunger for 40 full minutes, and against its toughest competition of the year, North Carolina has really responded with intensity. That play by Leaky Black really signifying what Hubert Davis asks and expects of his team. After the first 3 games, talked about all the yellow flags he was seeing. He asked his players to write down 3 to 5 traits they want as an identity before their game against James Madison, and they presented him with a printed list signed by each player. He said, I was expecting just a piece of paper with some scribbles.
Boy, look at this defense. You got to drive him. That's what Jaren Holmes does.
And a Carolina foul at the end of it. Will go against Baycott, his third.
Give a lot of credit, though, to Caleb Love. He's exerting a ton of energy on that play, picking up the basketball, making it tough for Jaren Holmes to bring it up. But as an offensive player, if somebody's heating you up, the best thing you can do is drive it. That's what Jaren Holmes did.
1-and-1 for Jones.
The foul line is letting down the Cyclones here.
It's North Carolina ball. Is that a late violation?
Robert Jones, I think, ran in, I believe, before that ball hit the rim.
Carolina's 14 of 19 at the free throw line. Iowa State just 4 for 7. Iowa State with Kuhn spearheading the top of that zone again. Black into Baycott.
That's just beautiful basketball. You flatten the zone in the corner, and then it's Leaky Black dribble penetration, setting up Armando Baycott.
Here's Holmes trying to drive the pressure of Love again. Gets it back from Jones. Hard screen on Love.
Yes, it was. Caleb Love ran into a brick wall. Robert Jones setting a big-time screen to free him.
With 4 fouls, too, it had to be rock solid. Holmes with 14. Black flashing. Black swishing.
That's a big-time cut. There is so much attention being paid to when Pete Nance is in the post, and Leaky Black saw a terrific lane.
And Jones screens Love to free Holmes again. So it's fighting hard, and he fouls Nance. There's 2 physical. Free throws coming for Pete Nance.
This ball's going inside, and Leaky Black is just going to slide right in here. Look at the way that they're preloading up. That's a big-time cut. Seeing the play before it happens. Leaky Black just using that IQ on the offensive end of the floor.
When you say preloading up, what is Holmes doing there?
Well, they know that they are going to trap out of the post. They're trapping ball screens. They're post trapping. And when you do that, you've got to flood the weak side with all your help defenders. Right there, Leaky Black is the guy who's furthest away, so he can see the whole floor. He cuts right into the middle of that. Really, they're zoning up because you have 2 on the ball. So there's only 3 guys to cover the other four players, and it's just really well done by Leaky Black getting to the open area.
Nance goes 1 for 2. Oshuni off the bench for Iowa State. Down 7. 5:10 to go. Holmes rises. Rebound Nance.
The offense is just dried up for Iowa State. Carolina getting stops.
North Carolina +8 on the glass. Or +13 against Portland yesterday. Holmes has to be careful here. He's got 4 fouls. Davis steps in on Lipsy. Iowa State ball. Gabe Kalsher will return.
I know it hasn't been his day offensively, but with Lipsy, North Carolina don't have to guard him on the perimeter, at least with Kalsher, even though he hasn't shot it well today. He is a threat. Can spread that floor, get more space for a guy like Jaren Holmes or some of your bigs.
It's been Holmes operating off ball screens the last couple of minutes and operating well.
This size, I just love the way that he can get into the painted area, get to his floater. That's a big-time play by Jaren Holmes.
Nance, Woods gave him the left shoulder.
Just daring you to that baseline.
Now the trap on Baycott, but Grill left Black. Terrific find by Baycott.
Just thread the needle. Armando Baycott. It's a big-time play and a terrific pass on the baseline, big to big.
Leaky Black with 6. Baycott with 2 assists to go with his 13 and 8. Kalsher 0 for 5 for the field. He'll feed Grill, and Grill continues his sensational night. 6-3 of the game.
When he's rising up, I just envision that he's got the NBA Jam Nets on fire thing. I mean, he has been terrific shooting the basketball.
Kuntz locked up with Nance, commits his 3rd foul. Iowa State hanging in there, but Carolina still in command.
Armando Baycott is always going to command a ton of attention. You've got multiple sets of eyes on him. You lose track of Leaky Black on the baseline. Leaky Black continuing to make big-time plays, but the clones are not going anywhere. It's a major league shot. Caleb Grill locked and loaded, knocking it down.
Kevin Connors here in studio. A look at Julian Phillips. Went for 25 and 8 in an overtime win over USC in the semis in Atlantis. We've got a dynamite championship game coming up from the Bahamas after this. Tennessee and Kansas after we go final in Portland. Kev,
we look forward to that game very much so. We look forward to the other games today on ESPN. Basketball quintuple header, UConn, Bama, Purdue, Gonzaga, semifinals of the Phil Knight Invitational and Legacy, respectively. If you're a North Carolina fan right now, I hope you have 2 TVs or a TV and an iPad, because UNC's football team right now is in double overtime against NC State. That is over on ABC. So Tar Heel Nation, Carolina Blue, is just covering our airwaves right now here on ESPN. The basketball team up 4. The women's team won yesterday. They will be in the Phil Knight Invitational Finals on Sunday. And the football team locked in a battle before the ACC Championship game next week. That game on ABC. Pete Nance, 2 free throws, and Nance has missed 2 of his 3 free throws today.
85% on the year. Normally a good foul shooter.
Splits the pair. The lead is 5. Kuntz with Jones, Holmes, Grill, and Kalsher. 42 of the 56 points have come from Grill and Holmes for Iowa State.
Oh, what a play.
Jones is open.
That is terrific out of the timeout by TJ Otzelberger. You know Carolina is incredibly worried about Caleb Grill because he's been on fire today. So you use him as a screener. They're not budging on Grill, and you find an easy one in the basket for Robert Jones.
Jones in double figures with 10. Baycott looking for Nance. Kalsher has the Iowa State steal.
That's what they do. They just try to make you so uncomfortable. They're making Armando Baycott be a handler and a decision maker there, and he throws that pass. It's a little wild to Pete Nance.
Holmes got up in the air. Grill! Oh, goodness gracious! Fire him up! 7 threes for Caleb Grill, and the game is tied.
On the first play out of the timeout, they use him as a screener. You see him right there screening Armando Baycott, freeing up Robert Jones. Then the defense, the pass unable to be completed to Pete Nance. Looks like Nance got maybe a finger there. And then Caleb Grill, I mean, my goodness, this thing is from 28 feet. He's been unconscious.
The game was stopped because Nance hurt his finger. It's taped up. He's ready to check back in at the next whistle. Pup Johnson's in for Carolina, and Baycott throws it away.
Once again, it's Baycott being the playmaker. R.J. Davis had Gabe Kalsher with the back cut, but the pass is not there.
Holmes at the controls for Iowa State. Under 2 to play. winner to the championship game. Here's Grill, who's tied a career high 27. He has a career high 29. A performance for the ages. Baycott again trying to be the playmaker. Again turns it over. And he fouls Holmes. 2 free throws coming.
I mean, what a turn of events here. A 7-0 run over the last minute 45, and Armando Baycott has been loose with the basketball. The hands of Gabe Kalsher. He's got R.J. Davis on the cut, but the ball movement here, and it's just the Caleb Grill show. Coming off this screen and letting it go. Turnover's the story over the last 2 minutes, and Armando Baycott having to commit a foul to save a bucket.
Carolina has turned it over on 3 straight possessions, and Holmes hits the first. 4 fouls, 5 turnovers committed by Baycott. Caleb Grill had a 27-point game for UNLV against Alabama December the 1st, 2020. There's a chance, because of his performance, he could send Iowa State to a meeting with Alabama in the title game tomorrow. Well, there's a whole lot of ball left. 1:10 to play. Carolina, the nation's #1, down 4. Love with a deep one, not even close.
You just didn't have to do that either. Carolina likes to run that play where it looks like Caleb Love's going to set a back screen. They pin him in, and Iowa State did a nice job defending it. Just a force from Caleb Love.
Holmes, one-footed, couldn't get it to go. Here's Davis with 40 seconds remaining. 2-possession game. Davis spinning around, kept the dribble alive.
Defense by Iowa State so good. Both Robert Jones, Gabe Kalsher locking down.
Into Love, cutting Love, tipped by Baycott. Kalsher's got it. Carolina must foul, and they do. It's feeling like a little Hilton magic out here in the Pacific Northwest.
The Iowa State defense totally flipped this game, forcing turnovers. The on-the-ball defense on that last possession was phenomenal. Gabe Kalsher is having himself a rough afternoon.
Iowa State, in the graphic you just saw, has 2 wins all time against AP #1 teams. The last was against Oklahoma 7 seasons ago. George Niang had 22. Monte Morris had 20. Iowa State beat Oklahoma 82-77. And a foul here will stop the play as Kalsher bumps Davis. So North Carolina will send Davis to the line with 19.4 to go. The only other win for a #1 team, or against a #1 team for Iowa State, was against Kansas. In 1957, Wilt Chamberlain's Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas #3 right now in that game against Tennessee coming up after this one, the championship in the battle for Atlantis. North Carolina has not played like a #1 this season. They have flirted with disaster against Gardner-Webb and UNC Wilmington and Portland. They have won all the games, but there's the sense that some sort of an early season, and it is early, reckoning has been coming for this group. Can they stave it off for one more day? Davis 2 for 2. It's a 3-point game. Hubert Davis will use his penultimate timeout. Iowa State will have the ball up 3. They have been propelled forward by an extraordinary game from Caleb Grill.
Well, to beat a team that's ranked #1 in the country, you've got to have somebody a lot of the times that just goes wild, and that's been the case today for Caleb Grill. 29 points, 7 of 11 from 3. I mean, he has made some ridiculously tough shots. It's been the story. Made play after play, and this has been a bit of an implosion by Carolina with their turnovers, but Caleb Grill has made them pay on this end and been tremendous, knocking down shot after shot.
It was 1 for 5 yesterday. He's 1 for 5 today if you cut out the digits in the tens column. 11 of 15, 7 threes, and a career high for Grill. So now Carolina's got to defend down by 3. 2 timeouts for Iowa State, 1 for UNC. Double bonus situation. How quickly do you foul if you're UNC?
I think you're trapping the first pass. You're going for steals. And once you get past that, you're taking a foul to extend the game. For Iowa State right now, you understand you pass and catch, you're probably going to win the game. It's as simple as that. One of the most fundamental things that you can do in this game. You can't hide from the moment. You've got to come meet your passes. You have to help the ball handler. So I don't think Carolina's not going to foul right away. They're going to try to get a steal off 1 or 2 passes.
Grill will inbound. Gets it into Holmes, and Holmes is fouled quickly by Trimble with 18.1 to go. Jaren Holmes only 2 for 4 at the line today, 14 for 22 this season. He's not a bad choice for a player to foul, statistically speaking. Romulus, Michigan. Iowa State by way of St. Bonaventure. Makes it a 2-possession game. North Carolina football has just lost deep in overtime on a missed field goal to NC State. It could be a paralyzing 15-minute stretch for Tar Heel fans. Holmes to make it a 5-point game. He does just that. 68-63. Black inbounds to Love. Love.
This is taking a lot of time.
Way too much. Black slashes.
Oh, what hands?
Lost it. Grill has it. Grill is fouled. They're going to be dancing in the aisles here in Hilton Coliseum Northwest.
Just another terrific play defensively. That time it's Robert Jones with the active hands. Caleb Grill knocking down the first free throw. And for the people who thought Iowa State wasn't for real because of who they played through the first 3 games, they have proven out here in Portland that this is no fluke. This is a tough team to deal with.
They trailed by as many as 9 points. Nance rebounds Davis's miss. It is window dressing. It is an Iowa State win. #1 goes down in Portland.